Hi guys, welcome. Come on in everybody. Come on in and get comfy. I'm Vanessa Levin from Pre-K Pages and I am here tonight to talk about science, my science center. I'm giving you a tour of my science center. So come on in and let us know in the comments below where in the world you are watching from tonight. So I'm Vanessa Levin, creator of Pre-K Pages, one of the most popular early childhood websites in the US. I'm also the founder of the Teaching Tribe, a premium membership site for teachers just like you, teachers of preschool, pre-K, kindergarten, Head Start, in-home childcare, and more. And it's a place where, oh, cool. Facebook is telling me things. Sometimes they just do strange things. It's a place where I help teachers just like you teach better, save time, and live more. Tom will drop a link to the Teaching Tribe in the comments for you below. And tonight, I didn't forget my sign. This is a special week over here on Pre-K Pages and the Teaching Tribe because we are going live every day this week, and it's Friday, right? So I've been live every night this week, and if you would like to get text notifications whenever I go live, all you have to do is text 81010 at Pre-K Pages, not pages, I'm sorry, Pre-K PAG. There it is on the screen. Screenshot that. So that's all you have to do. It's free in the US. It's just a free app that allows me to remind people whenever I am going live. And I'll show it one more time. So 81010 at PREKPAG if you would like to get text messages whenever we go live. Okay, so over in our free Facebook group, Preschool Teachers Are Superheroes, we have been talking a lot about back to school, of course, and center setup and all kinds of back to school stuff, right? Very hot topic. We have about 6,500 members or so now, and it's growing rapidly. And I thought tonight, a couple of you last night said that you wanted to see the Science Center. So I thought I would go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, okay? And if you know any other teachers, if you have any friends, colleagues, co-teachers, whatever, that might be interested in having a tour of my Science Center, go ahead and share this broadcast with them so they can benefit as well. So the first thing I'm going to share with you is that a lot of what I'm going to show you tonight is over on my science page at Pre-K Pages. So Tom will drop a link to the science page. So if you missed something or you want to see details about how it works or whatever, if you go to the science page, chances are it will lead you in the right direction. So Tom will drop a link to the science page for you below. And the first thing I wanted to tell you about my Science Center is that I label everything, just like I do with everything else in the classroom, right? So these are the labels that I used. These labels are part of the Organized for Success webinar bundle. So every webinar that I have over at Pre-K Pages comes with a bundle of freebies. And this is an exclusive one, only available to webinar attendees, or if you're in the Teaching Tribe, they're in the Organized for Success certificate of attendance and handout folder. So anyway, these are pictures that I took. This is the Play-Doh Center up here, but we'll talk about that another day. But I have a picture of my science books, my discovery bottles, which I'll show you in a minute, or if you prefer to call them sensory bottles, whatever you'd like to call them. And then we have the magnifying glasses, the sound shakers, things that you can see, touch, hear, and smell, because those are the ways that kids are most engaged in the way that they learn about the world around them. The way kids learn about science and inquiry in the natural world around them is through their senses. So I have things there they can do all of those with. So those are just some printable labels that are available. And I've used those on my tubs. Okay, and some of my favorite materials. Well, the number one thing I always think we should have in our dramatic play center, not dramatic play, that was another day this week. Go back and watch that video. In your science center are books, lots and lots of books, and nonfiction books are a must. And I have, let me see, I have several here that I really like. They've come out with some really great nonfiction books with full color photos in the Scholastic book orders in the last few years. So I have books about animals and insects and the natural world around us. These are all pre-K appropriate. They have very nice, bright, clear, full-page photographs, limited amounts of text, but with just enough information. And so my kids love to look at these kinds of books. So I have a whole set of these types of books. Let's see. There's baby animals, bugs, all those. They came from the Scholastic book order. And then they came out with this set. I think this one was from last year. And these are awesome too. And these are all animals. And again, they are pre-K appropriate with full color photos, nice clear text, simple short text. Yeah, I really like these. These are really cool. And it tells you all the others that they have on the back. So they have all different kinds of these types of books from the Scholastic book order. So I have lots of books like that that kids enjoy looking at. I also have some other ones, just whatever I can find. Some other Scholastic seems to be my go-to for my Science Center. It's where I have a lot of my books. So anyway, I have a tub of these books, and this one has the little Science Center book tub label on it, and these just sit on the top of the Science Center. So those are the books. And then I talked about how I like to have things the kids can see, hear, touch, and smell. So my Science Center is really, really small. It's a very narrow shelf. It's 16 inches wide and 12 inches deep. So it's a very narrow shelf. So I got these really narrow little baskets. That way I can fit 2 on each shelf really comfortably. I can't quite fit 3 on there, but 2 of these fit nicely, and that way I can have 6 things on the shelves over there. And so on the end, these little pockets came from the Dollar Tree, or the Dollar Spot, I'm sorry. They had them last year and this year, and they're these clear vinyl pockets, but they stick on the back. And what you can do is you can take your labels and you can pull them in and out to label your tubs. So of course every tub has a label on the end, on each end, and also on the shelf underneath, so they're matching, right? And inside this one, this little bin or basket or whatever, I have these shaky things, and you can make these with anything. These are old film canisters, and you can also use quarter tubes. If you go to like Hobby Lobby or other stores like that, apparently coin collectors use those tubes, and they're similar to these in that they have a lid and they're cylinders like this, and you can fill them with things. I covered mine with tape just because, but the coin tubes you probably will need to cover because they're clear. And they try to find the matching one. So this one has this noise, and this one has this noise. So they're trying to find 2 that match. So there's a pair of them. They're not necessarily color coded, but you could do that too. But they have to listen for the sounds. And I just filled them with stuff, from around the classroom. There's one is filled with sand. This one I know is probably filled with rice. I think this was some kind of dried bean or seed, because it's kind of clicky. Oh, I know, it's old Cheerios. This is probably a screw. So anyway, they have to find the 2 that match. So, and they're not too noisy. You don't hear them really all around the room or anything. They're not noisy enough to cause a distraction. So I have things they can hear because they're using their senses. And you don't have to have these things out all the time. The thing about a Science Center, is that you can call it a science center, you can call it a discovery center, you can call it an exploration center, you can put it together with your math center. The most important thing is that you have a space in the classroom for children to discover and explore. So I get less hung up on the terminology that's used to describe the different places in the room, and more concerned about what we put in there and what our expectations are of children. So pretty much we all have the same expectations when it comes to these things. So whatever you call it is up to you. Then I have things they can see. And now I've done a whole broadcast on these discovery/sensory bottles. So you can find that broadcast over, I think I gave a link to Tom, but they are these little plastic tubes. They're plastic, they're not glass. And you can glue the lids on. They're very, very sturdy. They don't break. I've had these forever. And you can find a link to these on the science page and a link to the blog post where I wrote about all the different kinds that I use and all the ingredients and stuff. This one just has water beads inside, and it's really, if you let the light shine through it, it's really pretty. And these are things kids can look at. This one is hair gel, and I suspend it. I put eyes in there, and what happens is that the eyes float as they get suspended in the liquid as you turn it over. This one is a wave bottle with oil and water. I'll let you go and watch that broadcast so you can see more details about how they're made. These glitter bottles are really cool for kids to look at. So things they can see, things they can hear. For the Science Center, again, label on both ends of the tub and one on the shelf so they can match. And also the tops of the tubs are open because that's going to facilitate a quick and easy cleanup. So the more we constrain the items we put out, the more we cover them and stack them with lids, the longer our cleanup is going to take and the more difficult it will be for the kids, and their frustration levels will increase. And what we know about kids who are frustrated is that they act out, right? So you can avoid all that up front by leaving your tubs open on top. So things they can see and things they can hear and things that they can smell is really fun. And I've talked about this before on Facebook, and you can see a whole blog post about this at Pre-K Pages. These are smelly bottles. And these ideas, a lot of these bottle ideas come from Dr. Jean. She's got a really great handout there with all the ingredients and stuff. But this one is one of those sports water bottles. And I put a little squeezy cap on top, one of those little water bottle squeezy caps. And then I filled them with potpourri from the dollar store, different types of potpourri. And when you squeeze it, you can smell the potpourri. So they can smell it. And I probably have a printable somewhere where they can match the scent to the picture. This one smells like roses. And then you can also put tea bags in there. If you have some strong smelling tea bags and then when they squeeze it, whew, that's a licorice one. That one smells like licorice. You can also put cotton balls in there that have oregano on them, or garlic. My kids always say, that's the pizza bottle. So things in here that they can smell, and they love, love, love that. They love to smell. So we're activating their senses. We've talked about things they can see, things they can hear, things they can smell, and now the best part, right? Things that they can touch. Oh, and part of things they can see, I forgot to mention, magnifying glasses are a great part of that. So Tom will drop a link to some magnifying glasses here. These are like super kid safe, but I have some others I got from the dollar store. People always ask me what this part here in the back is, and this is so that you can stand it up and you can put something behind it, and it's kind of like a microscope almost, so you can see what's behind there without having to hold it in your hand. So if you wanted to do an observation of something and then write about it, you would have your hands free for that. So it's kind of like a little discovery thing, but they snap up too, so they can just be like this. So magnifying glasses are perfect for the seeing portion of the Science Center. And then I also I got these bugs. I got them somewhere last year. I can't remember if they were dollar store or what, but they were a good bargain, whatever they were. And this is the only way I'm ever going to have bugs in my science center. So I have they're encased in plastic, and let me tell you, kids love to look at those. They're like, look, Mrs. Levin, he has things on his legs and that's his nose, and I'm like, get it away. But they love that. So I have a whole bunch of these, and they're pretty indestructible. So this it's like plastic that they're resin or something that they're embedded in, so they can take their magnifying glasses and they can look at the bugs, and I don't have to have real bugs. And then, of course, I always have paper and clipboards, because one thing that scientists do is they record their observations. So if you look at the scientific principles and you look at the definition of what a scientist is, a scientist gathers and reports data. And so scientists need clipboards. So this is another mini clipboard from the dollar store with pencils and paper. And some of the things that I do in the Science Center to make sure that they're always observing something is to have something living and something growing. Now, I don't have anything right now. And I know you're thinking, I'm going to kill it. Whatever it is, I'll kill it. I have a black thumb. I hear that all the time, and I used to say that too. But over the years, I've perfected a little method that works for me, and I usually grow a sweet potato. They're almost impossible to kill. I don't have to worry about water in it. Don't have to worry about too much. I don't have to take it out, put it in the sun for 2 hours a day and bring it back in and all that. It pretty much just grows. And you can plant several of them. You don't have to plant them, but you can look over at Pre-K Pages. I have a blog post on growing sweet potatoes, but the best way that's worked for me. The cool thing is you can do several of them, do them at home, and then if you think that one of them, isn't doing well at school, take that home and swap it out, or just do several at school. And then my fish, my betta fish, they're replaceable. That's the great thing about them. You can just stop at Walmart on the way to school and pick up a new one if your other one died yesterday. Betta fish do really well for me. So I always have a fish and something growing. In that way, when they go to the science, discovery, exploration, whatever you want to call it, center, they have something to observe, because scientists, one of their jobs is to observe, record, and communicate the data that they collect. So another way that kids can record and collect that data is in these little science observation notebooks. This is really, really simple. And it's a free printable at Pre-K Pages. So if you go over to the science page that Tom dropped a link to before, you can grab a copy of this. And basically, this is what I like to call a principal pleaser. So we had to have evidence of observing and collecting data and all that stuff one year. And I was like, we have these clipboards with this paper, and this is what it... No. We don't, that's not, we need something more. So I created this. So this is like my secret sauce. Guess what it is? It's a place to draw. So at the top it says the scientist's name, and of course that's code word for write your name. And there's a picture of an eye, because the kids can't read. And then they draw a picture of what they observe. So as some of my second language students like to say, same. Yes, but one's a principal pleaser. And then you just print out multiple pages, and then you have a booklet. So each child gets one, and we can put them in a little basket in the Science Center if that's something that you need. But plain paper works just as well. It's a nice place. It's a way to have a collection of their observations. So like when I introduced the fish, I'll say, every day you need to go and look, if you're going to be at the Science Center, and see how the fish is doing. Let us know what he's doing, if he's changed at all. And of course, it's always interesting when you see the pictures of the fish floating on the top of the water. You're like, oops, uh-oh. Okay, so then things that they can touch. And some of you see, I'm sure you've all seen these little vegetable trays or party trays you can get at the Target Dollars. I'm not the Target Dollars, but I'm sorry, the Dollar Tree. I'm getting all my awesome dollar stores mixed up. And in it, I just put things that are interesting to touch. These are corks. And if you don't drink, you can buy them in bags, because the people use them in crafting a lot at the craft store, so I bought a bag of them at the craft store. The corks are interesting to touch. Shells, you can either collect them yourself, but they also sell them at the craft store because people use them to make crafts. So I have one of these trays filled with shells, one with corks. I have some smooth river rocks here. Now, if your kids are too small and you think they might eat them, use bigger rocks and maybe just have a couple. But some are smooth, some are rough. So I like the different textured rocks. Rocks are easy to come by, right? You can usually go outside and get some. And then I have pine cones because pine cones are awesome to feel and touch. And if you don't have pine trees where you live or any trees, any deciduous trees, then you can buy these at the craft store too because people craft with these. So it doesn't matter where you live. Those are great to touch. And then you can keep a magnifying glass in there or several magnifying glasses. This is from the dollar store, so you don't have to have fancy ones, but these are from the dollar store. And another thing I like to keep in there, and you could probably make these too with some colored cellophane, but these color paddles, kids love to look at the different items through the different colored lenses, right? So we always talk about rose-colored glasses, right? So they love to look through these. I've had these types of color paddles, I think they call them, for years and years in my science center, and the kids always love to look at them because they can see the colors. So, and there's a whole set of these. I don't think I have a link to these here, but on the science page, there's probably a link to those. They're just cheap plastic. So these trays here are $1, and then you can put different natural items. Natural items are great for kids to touch and feel the textures. So in the Science Center, I put things they can see, hear, smell, and touch. Taste is going to be something else. You can do that every day at snack, right? I don't want to put anything there that they can taste. Things they can watch, live, and grow. Some ways they can record data, they can collect and communicate it. You want some books, and you can put whatever else you want in there. So those are some ideas that I have. At the beginning of the year, I always get asked this question, and I guess I should turn my iPad on here because I missed the questions before. But I actually don't introduce the center at the beginning of the year. Kids don't know what to do with all these tools. They don't know the purpose. Excuse me. Just one moment. I have something stuck in my throat. Sorry about that. This center is the most abstract for children, at least is the concept of a center. Nature and science are natural for children, but doing it in this confined way is difficult for kids. So this is the last center I introduce for the year. So usually it doesn't get opened. If we started school the first week in September, this center wouldn't get open until almost October. So, and I just make sure that it's either turned around, covered up, they don't know what's there, or just don't get any of the stuff out yet and leave the shelf empty. Because I really want to make sure that we have the rules, routines, and procedures in place before I open up the more abstract centers. So earlier in the week, we talked about the really high interest centers that you really need to open the first week of school. The Dramatic Play Center, the Block Center, Sensory Center, Play-Doh. Those are the big heavy hitters, the ones that kids come in the classroom and they go, oh, baby dolls, blocks, must play with blocks, you know. They have to have those right away. The powerhouses, if you will. So, sorry, now that I choked on something, my eyes are watering. So you're going to want to open those powerhouses, but the more abstract centers, the centers that are going to take a little more time in introduction to the kids, for the kids, I open those later. So my science center is usually my last one that I open, because I'm going to be doing some of these things with the kids in the classroom, but I'm just not going to open it as a center just yet, just because it's really important that I get those rules, routines, and procedures in place first before I give them magnet wands and magnifying glasses and all these tools that are not common tools that they would have usually encountered before. So Block center, kids know that we build with blocks usually. You know, the cars and trucks, they get that. Baby dolls, they get that. Play-Doh, we squish it with our hands, they get that. Sensory, they feel it. But the more abstract centers, like the math and the ABC and the science, those are not intuitive to kids, so those come after. I have a whole center introduction sequence, like exactly which ones I open, and the script that I use to introduce those things to the kids with. It's in my book, A Fabulous First Year and Beyond, a practical guide for pre-K and kindergarten teachers. You can find it on Amazon. So I'm going to catch up with the comments now. All right. Oh, and now it's going to show me a nice big, there we go. Let's see. The clear pockets, Krista asks, where did I get the clear pockets for the front of the bins? Those came from the Target dollar spot. All the supplies fit in those trays if you need to sort things. Yes, Marcia. Marcia's our dollar store expert. So if Marcia says, it must be true, because she knows that they really should hire her as a consultant. Do you have a link to your sensory bins? Sensory bins? Yes, I have a whole bunch of information about sensory bins on my Learning Centers page. So if you go to Pre-K Pages, click on Learning Centers, and there's a whole section about sensory bins. Hi there, Claire and Nicole are here. Claire and Angel are here. Sorry, Claire, I always do that to you. And I can't see any more comments. Sometimes it does that and sometimes it doesn't. But Tom will let me know if there's any important burning questions I need to get to. So the basic gist of it is that label everything. Check out the science post at Pre-K Pages because it will lead you to all of the things that we talked about here tonight. Some of my favorite materials. Oh, I forgot to mention the center sign. I have the center signs, I should say, in every center of the classroom. It's a picture of the center and the educational rationale for what we're doing there. The words are for the adults, the pictures for the kids. So this one says, asking questions and defining problems, making predictions based on our observations, exploring and investigating, making and recording observations, acquiring scientific vocabulary, there's some good buzzwords, developing inquiry skills. And so these are editable, so you can change the text and you add your own pictures to them. So those are over in the Pre-K Pages store, but if you're a member of the Teaching Tribe, you can go grab those right away. They're called center signs. So if you want to know more about how you can teach better, save time, and live more, then you're going to want to check out the Teaching Tribe because, ta-da, today, August 4th, we opened the Teaching Tribe to those on our waiting list. And so we only open a couple times a year. And it is back to school, so it's important that you get in now if you want in before school starts. I know some of you in Georgia went back already, and I'm sorry about that. That makes me sad. But the Teaching Tribe is my premium membership site where teachers just like you, where I help teachers just like you teach better, save time, and live more. And what makes the tribe so great? We have $891 worth of printables available to you at your fingertips. Of course, that's not what you pay. You pay much less. That's why it's such a great deal. So if you were to buy all the printables at Pre-K Pages individually, you would pay $891. But as a member of the Teaching Tribe, you have access to all of those printables at your fingertips 24/7 whenever you need them. We have 2 trainings a month. Each one comes with a certificate of attendance. Every month we add 2 more. So you can see that the resources available for the videos, the video trainings, grows every month, as do the printables. So we add more printables every month. By the way, Tribe members, I added that welcome book that you wanted over into the vault. So I add things in the vault, they can go and grab them right away. And a community, a supportive community of new and veteran teachers, a safe haven for asking and answering questions. The payment options, because I know those of you who are not already in would like to know what your investment is, and that's $29 a month or $290 annual, and that way you save you get 2 months free with the annual membership. This is an absolute complete steal because not only do you get the $891 worth of printables to access at any time, you get all the video trainings and the community. We have book studies, we have prizes, contests, all kinds of great stuff. We have a lot of tribe members here watching tonight, and they can let you know about it in the comments below what they think. We have a list of all the current trainings that we have done so far. We've been open for more than a year, so we have more than 30 trainings available to watch right away. We have also how to get your school to pay for your membership. Tom will drop links to those for you in the comments below, but we're only open for a short time. So be sure that you get in because then we can take everyone that joins through as kind of a class, and so that way we can get everyone on board and up to speed. So that's how we do things over at the Teaching Tribe. So thanks a lot for watching. I will be back next week with more videos. I hope you enjoyed this week-long series of beginning of the year center tips and tricks, setup tricks. And if you liked this broadcast, if you would share it in any way, I would appreciate it so much, whether that's tapping the screen, hitting the share button, or whatever. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.